So as you can see by this beautiful backdrop that God has granted me, which I'm very thankful for, I live past the Antarctic snow wall. You know, that snow wall in Antarctica they don't want you to know about. Well, I know about it because I live past it, and I'm way, way past all these areas you ever heard. But, anyways, I'm in the middle of nowhere. It's snowing heavily, and this is not a new thing. You know, last year it was snowing this much, and it was piling up so fast that I couldn't do it anymore with the snow shovel. So I ended up trying to build a shovel machine to make it a bit easier on my back and everything, because it was piling up about this much snow twice a day for about a week straight, and all my joints and my back were so tired of shoveling I ended up just building a machine to make it easier. And that worked really, really good. That was a very effective machine. You just grab it like this and push it around like a hand plow, like it's the 1800s again. Worked really good. But what ended up happening was the snow got hard packed overnight. It got frozen and everything. So when I'd ram this into the snowbank to try and push it, I ended up just bending the shovel blade down. So it didn't break, but the shovel blade is bent at such an angle like this that it doesn't really want to work anymore. And I don't need to use this because there is the skid steer and there is the snow blower, but I'd rather use this because I built it and I like the idea, and I'm very obsessed with like human power and like pedal power and pushing and everything. I'm very obsessed with these old ideas and trying to modernize them. So for now, I just want to build something, improve it, and make it work really good, because I got to shovel this driveway. I got to go shovel the other place that I live at. And then I also have to go and shovel a path to get to my horse to bring him some water. You know, very 1800s activities, and you need some 1800s solutions. So I'm going to build a snow shovel machine again today, and it's going to work good. Watch. There we go. No. Oh, I suppose a guy could just cut it or just try and do that. There we go. Thank you, Rust. Nice. Cool. So there's our blade. But we're going to have to straighten that out and fix it. So when it comes to small projects, I'm the type of guy that just figures it out as I go. The problem being that I'm a little bit stupid, a little bit. So I thought this would just line up. It doesn't line up, doesn't line up. There's a lot of gaps there. That's not what I want. So I need to figure out how to deal with this. The other thing is that I kind of wanted to keep from digging into the ground underneath the snow, I wanted to splay these out a bit so that they ride on top a bit more, but that produces a pretty huge gap. So I might have to bite the bullet, have it like this, and either flatten these out a bit or make some fill plates. I'm gonna see what I can do here. Let's try and fix this. tip. Well, either way, you can just position it like that. There you go. There, it works. So I split that piece of angle iron and then used one of the halves, cut a couple angles into it, and then welded it up to the bottom of the plow. Then I reinforced the middle of it as I figured that takes the brunt of the force when plowing. The manual test here. Well, it's not too bad. Let's try it again. Cool. This was actually some junk tubing. It was a bumper from when my local grocery store was converting into like a new big box store or whatever you call it, and I took that bumper home because they were throwing it out. I had those two pieces cut down the middle, and then I flipped them, and then I split one of them down the length, and then put them together and tacked them up. And then I filled everything in with weld. My gaps were too big, which I'm not very happy about. Makes it heavier than it needs to be, but whatever. The dropouts actually come from a recumbent bike that I built probably 5 or 6 years ago. One of my first big welding projects. After all the eyeballing and all the careful welding, I must have bumped something. So right here, I tried to correct the mistake. This time I went and welded up a piece of flat strap to my frame to hold it in place. And then I took 2 pieces of scrap tubing and used those to connect to the shovel. This is all galvanized. I'm probably gonna die soon. It's not good. So right here you can see I recommend some tip dip. This is some really good stuff apart from the funny name. Really helps save money on tips and nozzles when you're doing a lot of MIG welding, especially if you're making a lot of spatter. Speaking of spatter, I ran out of MIG wire, so I had to switch over to flux core. Was not very happy to do that, but it's what I had and none of the stores were open, so I ended up just sending it. A lot of spatter, looked really ugly, but the overall frame looks very good. I'm very happy with it. There's not many issues with it, and I think it looks really good in terms of simplicity and just basic design.
It's recording.
We're recording. All right, so I got it all finished up. There's probably a couple more things I'd add to it, but this is pretty good. I already shoveled from my horse here all the way to the shop, if you see there. That's a pretty good ways. So now I'm gonna go shovel from here to that shed, because I have some stuff in that shed that's important. I'll just scoop this dog out of the way. Far better than using a shovel. Like that.
So you can see me carrying these 2 jerry cans full of water. I have 2 of those, and then I bring out 2 kitty litter pails, and usually it takes 2 rounds of that whole ensemble to fill the water pail. The water pail is heated, so it does last throughout the winter. I think most of it gets lost due to evaporation, though. I don't know if he's that thirsty, but either way, I put them into the sled, and it's about 80 pounds of water. You have to pull the sled by hand. So if you're going through fresh powdery snow, it's actually a lot of resistance. But if you go and use the shovel machine and go and break a rough trail first, it's actually super easy. It really makes a huge difference. Like before, when I didn't have this area shoveled, huge pain in the ass. Now it's just really simplified. A lot easier for sure.
And this one has a leak.
Hello. What's going on?
Okay, don't push too hard now. So I found the blade of the shovel was wanting to dig in too much and it didn't float very well. So I went and added a bit more of a lip onto the edge, and that fixed it. It works great now and it slides good. So I split the shovel machine off from the wheel, threw it into the back of the Santa Fe, and went to my cabin. Ended up staying the night and deciding to do the shoveling in the morning. I woke up to this big plow truck doing a good job, so I found that kind of inspiring. Anyhow, I plowed through like a true Amish hero and went and made a bunch of troughs in the snow. The shovel machine is good for breaking through all the freshly fallen snow or some of the hard packed stuff, but the finishing has to be done with a regular flat-bladed shovel, as the V plow shape of the shovel machine tends to make these troughs, as you can see here. So then you just go over it with the basic shovel, and that takes all those troughs and smooths them all out into a nice flat packed surface, which looks very clean, as good as a snowblower does, or as good as whatever you want to use. Nice and flat, easy to drive on, good traction, everything. So with all the shoveling done, I decided to kind of screw around and have some fun. I went and hammered through a whole bunch of 2-foot deep fresh powder kind of in the backyard, and I turned that into a trail using a basic shovel to pack it down. You can see how deep it is right here. And then I took this knee board and I used that to pack it down and smooth it out even further. I had to build up the second hill, so this would be the first one right here. You go down the steps, get pretty fast, but you start slowing down. So right about here, I had to build that up so you can get enough momentum to make it the rest of the way, and then at some point you go all the way down to the lake. Go down a couple bumps first though, so it works pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. Shut up over there. Anyways, this is how you go back up. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, overall the shovel machine actually totally surpassed my expectations. I thought it was still going to be a lot of hard work. It had a bit more capability. I found the original shovel machine with the flat blade, it would really get hung up if there was ever too much snow. It was really only good for kind of just flattening out some freshly fallen powder. But no, this thing works good and you can just hammer out a trail off road. Like, it takes effort for sure, but it's effort that's in your arms and not your legs or your back. It really is just like doing a push up over and over for a couple hours. It's something you can recover from versus getting a lot of strain in your lower back. I plan to make a second video, kind of an update, where I finish all the painting and smoothing out, and maybe I'll add a couple upgrades to it. But for now, that's the basic idea and a good amount of testing done. And I celebrated the occasion by doing a little bit of sliding in the Santa Fe, which is a really hard vehicle to slide. Very, very confusing, but I did a decent job right here, so I hope you like that.